Hi guys, it's me. This is going to be the final blog before Election Day. It has been an interesting journey these past couple of months, and I wanted to take this time not really to talk a lot about what happened at the school board meeting that happened at last Tuesday. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about it, mainly because I wasn't there. I had spent this past weekend staring up at the ceiling with 102.8 degree fever, suffering from strep, and because I wasn't able to go back to work until today actually. I didn't think it was right for me to go to the board meeting while I was missing work. So really, I don't have a whole lot of things to say about what happened at the board meeting. In looking at what happened during the minutes, it was pretty much going to be, from what I could understand, a reaffirmation of what happened during the whole meeting that we did talk about the last time. Instead, I wanted to spend just a few minutes talking about what is going to be happening at election day. If you are interested in some helping out with the campaign, if you've not had a chance to do so before, you will have an opportunity on election day. And really to spend some time just talking about some of the experiences that I've had, and to thank you. On election day, we are going to have, as has become a Sheboygan tradition, you always have the politicians standing on the corner of North 14th and Erie Avenue, where Walgreens and Pizza Hut and Starbucks, and then there's the car wash right there, waving signs saying, "Hey, vote for me. I'm gonna be your typical politician," and have a presence there as well. Looking at being there on in for both the morning and then also an early evening shift. If you go to my Facebook page, there is an event that you can click on, and you can, if you want to help out with that, please, like the page and say that you want to attend. We'll make sure that we've got signs for you. That is something that we would like a good presence there, just to remind people that it is election day, one of the bazillion election days we've got going on this year, and that I would really like their vote, and to remind them that, oh yeah, there's this guy by the name of Ryan Berg voting for running for school board. Please vote for him. Um, Another thing that, if you are interested in, we still have signs if you want them out on your lawn. I am, however, going to be out of town all this weekend. I had promised my family before I decided I was going to run to take the kids and go and Mrs. Berg and go to Minneapolis, go to the Twin Cities. We're going to catch a wild game. Chris and I are huge hockey fans, but we've never been to an NHL game. We are very stoked about going. And as a Christmas slash early birthday present for our soon to be 14-year-old, we did promise her a trip to the Mall of America. And if I would have had to tell her, "I'm sorry, Katie, we can't go to the Mall of America because Daddy needs to campaign," there will be not just one less visit to the nursing home, but like about 50 less visits to the nursing home. When I decided to run, I really tried to create a balance between my running and making sure that my family had their needs met as well. I wasn't always successful in that, but for this, I really felt it was important, and I'm going to certainly I'm going to certainly take my family and do something that's really for them this weekend. If you are interested in a sign, however, I will have my phone available. You can email me. I will. My email address, my personal email address is going to be on here. You can also go to the Facebook page, and you can send me a message that way. I'll make sure I get it. I'll make sure that somebody who has access to signs will get a sign out to you. There is also signs that are available as of right now at Paradigm. They were gracious in letting me store a couple of signs there. All I have to do is walk in, pick one up, and oh yeah, buy a couple of cups of coffee from Kate and the staff there. They've been huge supporters of us, and it's always good to give back. And so if you pick up a sign, please buy a cup from them. What have I learned over this campaign? I've learned that running for office is an incredibly tough thing when you have a family, going to school yourself, got a job, you've got all these other things. It's a tough deal. Politics in this day and age is it's almost a full-time job if you want to do it well. And I don't get me wrong, I plan on working as hard as I can if I do get elected on Tuesday, April 3rd. But it is a lot of work, and especially given that I decided to enter this race very late. I mean, I had a week to get my nomination papers in. Um, I think we've done really well, and getting my word out there. It is really cool to see your own signs out in places where you didn't put them. That means that the message is getting out that what I am trying to do is good, it's positive, and will hopefully help the community. I've also learned that there's a lot to learn when you run for office. It is not as simple as what you see in the old, I think it's the Sprint commercials, where what if firefighters would rule the world, where it's a yes, no, do it, pay for it, no, we don't want it. There's a lot of thinking that goes in that comes into play. You have to decide every decision that is made is good for the community. The question is, how good is it? What are the positives and negatives? And even though I have been critical of some of the decisions that the board has made, and I still am critical about some of the decisions, especially the 1.6% pay raise that they gave to the administrators, while essentially cutting the take home pay of all the educational assistants. I've come to really respect the work that they do. These are hardworking people who cared passionately about the school district and care passionately about the kids. These are not people who are just, saying let them eat cake. Um, they take their position very seriously, and I hope that that if I'm not elected, that if people start ragging on what the school board does, that I can turn around and tell them it's like, no, they're pretty serious about what they do. You may not like their decision, but they have given thought to their decision. This is not something that has been rubber stamped. It is not something that excuse me, that just because it's for the kids, that it is something that they're automatically going to do. There is something that they really care, that they really take a lot of time and effort outside of the board meeting to come up with a good decision and to make sure that the community is served. Another thing I learned is that the people that are on the school board and the people that I'm running against, although I didn't really talk to Scott Lewandowski, he pretty much was non-existent in at the meetings and the things the events I was at. They're decent people. I am Scott, I can't really say because I haven't talked to him. Um, but for Peter and John Hill and Barb Tuzinski, if those three get in and I don't, I'm good with it. Peter Madden is a really cool guy. He is smart. He really does think about what is best for the schools. John and Barb, uh, while I may have some issues with some of their stances, I also know that they do think about what they're doing. They're not just being told what to do. When I would ask them the questions, they would come up with answers, and sometimes the answers would surprise me. And I got the sense that this is not just coming from administration. This school district, while I think will be best served if I make it, uh, I won't be too terribly upset if Peter Madden, John Hill, and Barb Tuzinski get elected either. They're decent people, and win or lose, I think this community is going to be well served. I prefer it if I'm in there. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't vote for me. He's okay. Um, I really do want you to vote for me because I think I am the best out of the candidates. But that is not to say anything against any of the other candidates. people say, would say, who are you running against? It's like, really, nobody. I'm running for school board. And it just so happens that there are four other people who are interested in running for school board. And when we talk about collaboration and getting and working together, we have to get away from the idea of running against and say, I am against so and so. I'm actually for the school board. I'm for the kids. I'm for the teachers. I'm for the taxpayers. And if it so happens that there are others who are for those same things too, great. That's good to hear. Last but not least, and I said this is going to be fairly short. I'm going to try to keep this under 12 minutes. It's going to be a little bit over, but I'm going to try to. Is I want to thank you guys. Doing this has been a great experience for me. Getting to know the issues, getting to really think on a deeper level what happens in the school district, what happens with my kids and my family has been an amazing experience. And the questions that I get from people like you, whether it's on the website or I've gotten phone calls since the press article that came out the other day, or just people going in the street, and I'm completely caught off guard. Saying, "What do you think about?" What do you think about charter schools? And I have to, yeah, I think about this. That has really been an eye-opening experience for me. It's been a challenging experience for me, and it's something that I am not going to. I'm not going to forget it, and I'm not going to regret running, even if I don't win. If I don't win, hey, that's great. My family gets me back for a bit. If I do win, that's great too because I can serve the community. If I don't win, will I run again? Probably at some point. Not necessarily next year or for school board, but I think politics is a higher calling. And in working with my some of my great friends and friends that weren't great before because I didn't know them, but I've gotten to know them over these past few months, has been a refreshing experience. Politics is not always something which is nasty, evil, dirty. It can be enlightening. It can be neat to say, I am running for this office because not because I don't like the other person, but because this is what I bring to the table. This is why I think we can do better. And to have people come and say, thank you for being positive. It's a neat thing, and it kind of restored my faith a little bit into about the political process. This is something that I hope others will go on this adventure, even if they are don't agree with me on things. I had a friend of mine who is very much a Tea Party guy, very conservative. I mean, we've gone tooth and nail over a lot of things, whether it's education, global warming, the whole nine yards. And he was complaining about his school board. He doesn't live in Sheboygan. And I said, well, dude, why don't you run? And so well, I don't know if I can. It's like, look, the fact is we disagree on a lot of things, but you have one thing that a good politician has, every good politician has, and that is passion. The second thing is that you truly care about your community. We may not agree, but those two things will serve you well as a school board member. Eventually, he didn't decide to run, and I regret that. I think he'd be a good school board member because this is a guy who truly cares. And I would love to see more politicians truly care and be passionate about what they do. And I hope that during this campaign, I have inspired some of you to be passionate about what you do, to be passionate about not just my campaign, but be passionate about your schools, about your kids' schools, about your neighbor kids' schools. Even if you don't have a kid, be passionate about your neighborhood schools. Get involved. Can if I cannot be the one connecting, have others can be the connector yourself. And that is something that I really want this to happen, even if I don't make it. And I think I will. I really do. But if I don't, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue to be involved, and I still want you to be involved with me. With that, I know I said it's going to be about 12 minutes. It's going to be about 15. Thank you so much. Don't forget, Election Day is Tuesday, April 3rd, 2012. I hope to see you at the polls. Thank you so much. Goodbye.